Ranked on CBS. Number 4 Kentucky hosting number 25 Alabama. Home sweet home for the Cats, a perfect 15-0 at Rupp Arena this season. 2 weeks ago, Kentucky beat Alabama by 11. Crimson Tide were putrid from beyond the arc, 3 of 30. But, Matt, they came out on fire in the first half.
On fire to a level in which was genuinely shocking. Alabama does not rank among the better three-point shooting teams in all of college basketball. They certainly looked like it early, but that regression to the mean eventually surfaced.
Keon Ellis in the first half, 17 points, 5 of 6 from beyond the arc. And you consider in the previous game, he had 0 points, 0 of 7 from beyond the arc. Now, here comes Kentucky and Oscar Tshiebwe, and they're playing without 2 of their best players, Ty Washington, Sahvir Wheeler, because of injury. Tshiebwe taps home the follow. Then a minute later, Tshiebwe in the post. I don't know how he held on to the basketball there.
He's got great hands, and Oscar Tshiebwe maintains his status as the best player in college basketball by a narrow margin right now, but he does so much. Key point here with Kentucky, you see this great transition, great look. This is what they did not have so many frequent seasons. Transition, rebounding, three-point shooting. Jacob Toppin, huge play there.
Yeah, Tshiebwe block, rebound ahead to Toppin, then Kellen Grady caps off a 13-0 run to end the first half. Kentucky takes its first lead of the game with 44 seconds to play in the first half. Grady getting the start without Wheeler and Washington. Keeps it going in the second. Gets the handoff from Tshiebwe. Kentucky by 6. A minute later, Davion Mintz looks to hit Grady, but not looking. Comes off his thigh, picks it up, and hits the 3.
I mean,
that's how it was going for Kentucky.
This is really how it went in the second half. It's kind of hard to believe. At one point during this game, John Calipari literally got face-to-face with an official. Things turned.
Wild. Part of a 20-5 run for the Wildcats to go up by as many as 16. And then Grady gets it beyond the arc, loses Ellis, jab step. The Davidson transfer stepping up a big way. Kellen Grady, a season-high 25 points, 7 of 9 from beyond the arc. Kentucky rallies to win it 90-81, improving to 16-0 at home this season. Sweep the season series. Kentucky named a 2 seed in the initial top 16 reveal on Saturday. Kentucky outscored Alabama 20-7 since trailing by 13. They went on a 20-2 run after trailing by 2 in the second half. Took their large lead of the game, 16 points, and they go on to win. They cover the spread, and the game goes over the total of 154 and a hook in Lexington. Oscar Tshiebwe, 21 points, 14 rebounds, 21st double-double of the season, most in D1, 9 straight double-doubles for the big man. Welcome in CBS Sports HQ college basketball analyst Matt Norlander. Kentucky rallies back big time, down by as many as 13 in the first half. They take the first half lead. What's your reaction to how this game played out in Lexington?
It was wildly entertaining, and for a good while there was a nice back and forth, one of the better watches we've seen in the past month or so, Akeem. But I got to say, Kentucky, the way that they were able to dominate, again, I want to emphasize this. Ty Washington, lower leg injury according to Kentucky, and Kentucky defined Sahvir Wheeler as an right upper extremity injury. I want to be accurate in depicting what Kentucky said. That's the starting backcourt, and they were able to win in such definitive fashion. Kellen Grady was phenomenal in this game, and we really saw, I think we got an insight here into how John Calipari was able this season to build a roster. Look at who was on the floor in this game. I mean, Oscar Tshiebwe, the best transfer and the best player in college basketball so far this season. Old veteran. Kellen Grady, transfer from Davidson, came up huge in this one. Jacob Toppin, another transfer. They've been able to get old and, at least for this year, obviously stay old. So having depth to that bench on Kentucky's roster came up huge in this particular game here. And when we went into Saturday, we learned that Kentucky was the number 6 overall seed. They weren't on the 1 line, and I think that was practical. But to me, Kentucky is as dangerous as any team in the country to win the national championship when fully healthy. Ty Washington, Sahvir Wheeler, we expect him to get back to full strength soon. As for Alabama, real quick on that, Alabama did not make the top 16 overall, but we did learn on that CBS show that Alabama was in the mix with Houston and Ohio State to be in at least discussion for the 4 line. Ultimately, I don't think that's going to happen when we get to Selection Sunday. We're 22 days out, but to me, you really look at what Alabama has on its schedule going forward. I think Alabama would actually need to win the SEC tournament to have a shot to eventually jump up to the 4 line. And I say that as someone who believes lost volume does count. They've got the toughest strength of schedule in the country, but a lost opportunity here on the road. They look good early, and then regress to the mean. Alabama's not a good three-point shooting team. They were aberrationally hot to start this game, Hakeem, and that came back to bite them. They missed 8, 9, 10 in a row to end the first half, and then they couldn't keep pace in the second half.
Kentucky bounces back after losing to Tennessee on Tuesday. What does it say about Kentucky winning this game when if they lose it, you lose 2 in a row, there's the doubters, you start hearing whispers in the program. John Calipari gets, feisty once again. He always is. But what does this say about Kentucky to get this? And it's a good quality win at home against a very good Alabama team. But what does it say about Kentucky to get this win without Severe Wheeler, without Ty Washington?
Well, there's a real steadiness here. Yes, absolutely. They come off just getting beat convincingly by Tennessee. And I think Kentucky was kind of due for a loss in the way that they took it there. But this is a reliable team. If you really look back over the past decade, Kentucky has had teams that have been obviously good. Number 1, 2 seed, 3 seed level. But there has been a bit of inconsistency. This team doesn't really have too much of that. And I say that acknowledging what happened against Tennessee when Ty Washington played, when Calipari said afterward, you know what, looking back, I should not have played him. I don't see this Kentucky team as being a group that's ultimately that vulnerable to a variety of different kind of opponents. I mean, Sheboy himself rebounds for 2 people. You get Grady, who has been just a terrific addition from the perimeter. And even, Davion Mintz has his moments. Kentucky has had this season, how about this? 6 players have had a 20-point game for the Wildcats. That kind of offensive diversity is not something we normally see out of Kentucky. It always has stars and normally has lottery picks, but this is a different group. And I've had fun watching this team win with this style. And Cal, the way he built this roster, it just doesn't look like any other team he's had before. It's comprised in a very different way. It's not just Sheboy. He is the front runner by a narrow margin for National Player of the Year. But when I see Kellen Grady playing the way that he did today, Keon Brooks Jr., another player completely capable of stepping up. And one more note here. The way that Kentucky kind of flipped the way it played defense in this game, Hakeem, I thought was huge. Kentucky was shaky early. It wasn't just that Alabama was scoring, hitting those threes. Some of that was, frankly, it was shot luck because Alabama doesn't rate as an accurate three-point shooting team. Kentucky really locked in the second half, Hakeem, in a way that it has to be inspiring to that fan base because on the top end, this can be a very, very good defensive team. It was a little shaky early, and then within the confines of the game, I thought you got microcosms of what makes Kentucky so good, and Alabama compelling but ultimately unreliable, beating a lot of good teams but also taking on a lot of losses as well.
Very deep roster. Kellen Grady, 7 of 9 from beyond the arc as he goes for 25 points as Kentucky rallies to beat Alabama.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.